Hi guys, Ray here from City Fan TV, and you can see in the house tonight we've got Maxi, friend over from Italy, Italian journalist Maxi, who big Milan fan. How you doing tonight, Maxi?
I'm doing very well, thank you. It's great to be on again.
Very good to hear. It's lovely to have you every time. I will say this every time you come on. We just love you on the show, and the viewers do as well, because your knowledge is. I wouldn't say second to none, but it's up there. It's up there. Your in-depth knowledge, and
I appreciate it.
Oh, no worries, man. No worries. It's about time we talk about defenders. We talked in the past about attackers and stuff like that. It's about time we talk about defenders. And obviously, Man City are in the market still for another centre-back. The name on everybody's lips at City is Kalidou Koulibaly. He's a cracking player, really good. Plays for Napoli in Italy. He's Senegalese, but he's come through the French system at Metz. Playing there, then he went to Genk and Napoli. He's been there since 2014. He's 29 years old, just in June, so he's only just turned 29. He's 187 tall, about 6'2". And on one hand, there's not a lot I can add, because he's a great player who we've seen for quite a few years. But also, he's 29 years old. So there's lots of things to throw into the mix. He's expensive. Napoli won 80 million euros. He's 29 years old. Will he hit the ground running? These are the things that City fans are concerned about. So what can you tell us about Kalidou Koulibaly?
Kalidou Koulibaly. He's like a brick wall, I would say, both in size and in ability. He's one of the best defenders I've seen in Italy for a long time. He reads the game well. He's good with his feet, ball playing, crossing, long balls. You say crossing is I mix the two up together. But overall a very high quality defender. Aurelio De Laurentiis is notorious for being a bad negotiator. He always wants much more than the players is actually worth. But I would say he's quite spot on with his evaluation of Koulibaly.
Yeah, he's an expensive player, but looking at his stats again, he's a player who's been at Napoli for 6 seasons. He's played 183 times in the league, so that's averaging 30 games a season. So that's pretty much all the season. So it looks like he doesn't suffer too much from injuries. And looking apart from there's a couple of seasons where he's only played 20 odd games, but he's in there. He's got a couple of seasons at 35 games, one at 33. Actually, this season just gone, that was his fewest games at 25. It's still a decent number, 25 league games. But has he had an injury this season?
I'm not sure about injury, but I know he's been suspended a few times this season. I can't recall if it was this season or the season before, when he lacked out against racist supporters and got suspended for some reason.
Yeah.
I think that might have been last season. But if he's only played 25 games, I would suspect that it's been because of an injury. Yeah.
It's a funny thing. He's talked about on a few occasions his desire to retire at Napoli, and that a departure would only occur due to an economic decision made by the club. But surely, the chance to play for Pep with potentially, Laporte next to you in midfield, you've got KDB, maybe Bernardo Silva. And up front, you might have, Aguero, Sterling, and potentially Lionel Messi. Surely, that's something that almost any player would want to be part of.
Yeah, for sure. As you said, he's been welcomed very well by everyone in Napoli, not just the football supporters, but the entire city. He says in an interview with the Football Tribunal that I am a son of Naples, and you know, you can see why, because he's so loved it there. But I don't think that love has faded or something like that. But I've gotten some signals this season, and this is just from like interviews in the media, and not that I have any info on the matter, that he's opened up more and more towards leaving and trying something new. And I see that same in the owner, Laurentiis, as well. Of course, he wants the right price, but before it was like just no. Now it's like, okay, if you pay us 80 million euros.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I don't think that love has faded, but I do think that he's softened a bit about trying something new.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about Napoli is they finished 7th in Serie A. They're in the Europa League, but they're miles off challenging. Who can challenge Juventus for the title generally? But they're miles off Napoli. They're going to lose a whole chunk of money by not qualifying for the Champions League. Without looking at the numbers, it could be somewhere in the region of 30 or 40 million euros. The drop from Champions League to Europa League is significant unless you get deep in the competition. They bought Victor Osimhen, as we said. They were trying to buy Gabriel, who Arsenal got in the end. So the feeling is, if you're getting someone like Victor Osimhen, he cost I think 55 million euros. At some point, knowing that okay, the FFP is slightly relaxed, but it's coming back the season after, you've got to pay for all this, and somehow the feeling is. And your income's going down because there's no fans. Your income's going down because you're not in the Champions League. And you've bought this player for a lot of money. How are you going to make ends meet? And it might be by selling Milik, but Milik's not going to get you even half the price of Koulibaly.
No. And yeah, De Laurentiis, he's not someone who has the money, say, like Manchester City or Inter or even Milan.
Yes.
They're quite vulnerable, especially now, I think, because they always have a packed stadium at home. They have one of the largest stadiums in Italy, so that's a huge loss in gate receipts every game and all that comes with it. So I don't think that De Laurentiis would buy Osimhen now when, if he was like in a bad crisis, but I don't think either that he's unfazed by it.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling that he might budge a little on the price tag, say 70 million euros comes.
Yeah,
I think that he would take it.
But I was going to say that's the numbers that I felt that he'd take would be about between 60 and 70 million. Maybe 65 million pounds, which is about 72 million euros. It might be 60 million plus add-ons for City winning stuff. City do win stuff, so he'll probably get a lot of that. City have been here before with De Laurentiis. City fans are still angry. I think the club are as well with what happened with Jorginho.
Yeah.
And they feel, insulted and let down, and there is a bit of mistrust. And the feeling is if De Laurentiis is going to keep this going till the very last minute, whereas City fans, and I'm sure City themselves, want this deal done as soon as possible. Manchester City have started training. That started yesterday. So we want this deal done. Our first game is in 20 days' time. Now, I'm not saying Koulibaly will be ready then, but we want him in the club. So if we, I think City still want to pay about 60 million. De Laurentiis wants 80. It feels 65 to 70 is the right number. How long do you think De Laurentiis can hold out for? Is it a game of poker now?
I would say it is, because as we discussed, Napoli and almost every club is bleeding money right now. And when you have spent 55 million euros that can rise even more in add-ons, you're not in a position where you can turn down everything or whatever bid comes your way. So I would say that, yeah, he would probably accept less if he feels like, all right, this is good enough. Yeah. So I would say, like we said, around maybe 65-70 million euros. But the thing is, for Manchester City's sake, I think that it would be worth it, because Koulibaly comes in and he significantly improves Manchester City's defense, and he's 29, so he has, say, 5 more years in him, maybe a little more, and he is of such high quality. I wouldn't compare him to Liverpool signing Van Dijk, but I could see like a similar type of situation, that he really improves the defense.
Yeah, there's one thing I forgot to ask, is about his pace. That's one issue at City at the back. We've got Walker, who's very fast, but he's not always switched on. He's looking the wrong way at times. Laporte isn't fast enough. Garcia isn't fast enough. When Fernandinho's played there, he's not fast enough. So compared to those guys, how fast is Koulibaly? Is he going to make a huge difference at the back in terms of pace?
I wouldn't say that he's faster than Walker, but I would say he's definitely faster than the other guys you mentioned. He's quite fast, and I think that his pace is quite underrated, just as Van Dijk. He doesn't look fast, but when you actually see him sprinting with 1-against-1 with a player, you see that, yeah, he's kind of fast. So I definitely think that would be solved with the signing of Koulibaly.
Yeah. I mean, the final question is a more general one. I mean, we've seen some of the purchases City have made. We've lost David Silva. We've got Nathan Ake. We've got Ferran Torres. Hopefully we'll get Kalidou Koulibaly, maybe Lionel Messi, maybe one or two others. How strong do you think Man City will be next season, especially in Europe?
If you get Messi and Koulibaly, I don't want to think about it. No, but honestly, you see, Manchester City reached the semi-finals this year.
Quarterfinals.
Quarterfinals, sorry. And that's without the addition of perhaps Lionel Messi and Kalidou Koulibaly, who make significant improvements on both ends of the team. So I definitely think that City would be I would be very scared if I were facing Manchester City and those guys were playing.
Fantastic. I've got to say once again, Maxi, it's been a wonderful chat. Another great insight from you into a giant in Italy at the moment, in Kalidou Koulibaly, and I hope we sign him very, very soon. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for tonight.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.